Um, hey, we got Mila in the house. She's back. Um, hey Mila, how you doing?
You're doing great. How about you guys? Happy Friday.
Dude, we are good. It is Friday, and I needed it. I need this weekend.
You need a mental break, physical break,
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
whatever.
definitely a mental break. I need a couple of days where I'm allowed to sleep in. That's definitely going to be important. Because I have not treated myself all that well here over the last just with Bailey and all that over the last several months. So
How's
um
your sleeping
yeah.
schedule now?
It's improving. It's definitely improving, but she's still having her issues, and now we have to wake her up every 6 hours to feed because she's on a medication for her hemangioma. Um, so yeah, it's been a lot.
Stay stoked. You know,
What was
time to
that?
stay stoked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Be patient because kids they grow up and one day she'll be a big girl and you
yeah,
will miss those times. Sleepless
yeah.
night and you're like, oh, I was hugging her every night.
Yeah, no, I'm already like she's now super responsive to everything. So that's been fun to see. She changes by the day. Yeah, you can come say hi. Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Yeah.
baby.
Although Paul was making fun of her face the other day. Yeah, I sent him a photo, and he was definitely like I sent him a photo of my drink, and yeah, she's there you
Oh,
go.
boy.
And he like zooms in on her face and is like that face, that fat face.
In all honesty, Cassie's the one that caught it. She was like, "Look at Bailey." I'm like, "Okay." So
Yeah. But so Mila, you're back in the swing of things now.
Yeah, I'm back to work, back to everything. I gave myself a good break of 1 month, not to do anything work related, real estate related. Was
That's
just
awesome.
on my family.
And are you coming back now refreshed and feeling ready to take on the world?
Yoo-hoo! I am.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. How about you, Flora? What's new? What's going on in your world?
Nick, you know what? I might fly to Indy soon.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, yeah. You have some free time?
Yeah, I think it was going to be like towards the end of the month or like middle of the month, like the 19th or something like that.
19th or 20th. Yeah.
Yeah, I should be able to make some time while you're in town.
Yeah, yeah. I like the investor is gonna be here. I think I'm gonna help them ask you really hard questions.
Ask a few really hard questions.
Yeah, but help them ask you really hard questions.
Oh, I am more than willing to answer any questions. I was pretty transparent with him last night, and I think it surprised him at just how like honest I was with my answers because I was basically trying to disqualify myself, and then he kept asking like he asked follow-ups that he was like, all right, now after me trying to disqualify myself for 15 minutes, he's like, all right, we're gonna come out there.
Yeah, I think I get that from you also. I was really also being really, really honest, and they're like, are you serious?
And I was just yeah, I mean, being realistic with numbers, like most people that are trying to raise funds and stuff like that are um gonna like promise you the world. And I was just like, yeah, like this is how it works. Um, this is what we're seeing, and this is how we analyze things conservatively because we don't want to ever underdeliver.
Yeah, Nick, I feel like you have a special charisma. Like
I
you get
appreciate that.
you get what you want.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So always nice to have people want to invest with us. There is always that piece of me that's like, oh my gosh, one more thing that I've got to go do. I've got to go deploy more funds. So can be an incredible blessing and also like another thing to tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, not this time, Nick, because I think now it's like you manage a lot of investors, but if you have a big one, then maybe you can take up just one.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Make my life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
They seemed really interested in the Alleyworks building.
Really? In Bloomington.
Yeah. So Paul, get ready to do a lot of construction down there.
Thanks. Ready.
Yeah.
I'll get ready.
He seems excited.
I'll
Um,
get ready.
yeah,
Alleywork
Yeah.
is so great.
dude, that is one cool building. It's a super cool building. It has a lot of issues though. Lots of problems with it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wood frame building. Honestly, not all that well maintained over the last several years. So lots of opportunities to kind of turn that thing up a little bit and do better by it.
Yeah, I heard, Nick, you're gonna start big, start something big in Bloomington. Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's that building.
What do you mean? Like, are you gonna own the whole building?
I don't know. I don't plan past dinner. So there's some opportunities there with that one in particular that with the right operator, that building could be doing a lot better. Transparently, Bo is a piece of that, but he is absolutely not the right operator of that building for himself. He currently manages, I think, 8 of those units. It's about 15, 20 units in the building. I've done a full analysis. I just don't have it in front of me. And so they've got some issues. They're going to lose all their retail on the first floor. There's the opportunity to convert all of the buildings above it into short terms, turn it into a boutique hotel for IU in particular, really support IU, potentially partner with the Wilds, potentially partner with Laurel Mill. That's about 120 nights a year that are potential bookings, work with other companies, but then also convert the top floor into something kind of cool, something kind of interesting, like a wedding venue in and of itself. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm kind of 50-50 about whether I even want it. It's kind of like because again, I think it could be really good. I think I could do really well by it. I also know just how much work is going to go into that. And that's terrifying.
Yeah, you already got the wedding venues and the fund and all of that.
Yeah, I'm keeping myself busy, not gonna lie. So yeah, and Lauren and Paul see it better than anybody about how I'm just kind of running from thing to thing on a regular basis. But
So,
oh yeah, you got a deal analysis for us? That's what we're here for. Let's talk deal analysis. No, you got to present it. I'm not
Oh, I gotta
presenting your
present- yeah,
deal.
well-
You've got to present your own deal. That's not how this works.
Okay, let me figure out how do I present this?
We've even got Paul here. He can answer any of the construction questions. How lucky
Oh,
are we?
Nice. Okay.
He's not drinking though, so his numbers are going to be higher.
Okay, so everyone can see my screen, right? So the house I'm looking at is this house. And I think that the price
Hey,
they
we're looking at your Google Drive. We're not actually looking
I
at a
don't know how
file.
to do this. Okay, one second. Let me figure out how I do this. Sorry, I don't normally use Zoom, so
You're good. So there's a
How do
little,
you-
you hit the share button, but then you can choose like which particular window you want to.
yeah, I think Zoom suddenly only became everyone's faces.
Well,
How do
we
I?
still see
Oh,
your
I
screen.
think- Oh, I see. Oh, it selected the wrong screen. Okay. How do I stop sharing and choosing? Sorry.
So there should be a little bar either at the top or the bottom that, and there should be a red thing that says stop sharing.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Okay. Stop share. Okay,
right.
let me try this one more time. This technology is hard. Okay, I think I found the right screen. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, this is
All right. Yep.
Okay, sorry for the delay, guys.
940
Okay.
only. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the house. I'll go through the pictures.
Before we dig into the photos, the strategy on this one would be a
Oh,
buy and hold of something that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So no value add. Got it.
No. Yeah. So outside looks quite nice. I think they put a new fence in.
Cute.
And then yeah, this is the inside. It looks good.
Hey, Paul, do you think that bathroom was there? Or do you think that's an addition?
This one here.
Been an addition.
Yeah.
It just
I
doesn't-
feel like that was a closet, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a smaller closet here.
That kitchen
Oh.
looks nice. What kind of countertop is that?
Looks like quartz.
Quartz.
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, it looks nice. It almost looks like kind of like polished concrete.
Yeah.
I just like the look. It's clean. I hate the
Yeah.
light fixture, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know who chose that one. And then I think this is in the bathroom that we just saw.
Yeah, that
Um,
seems right.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
don't know which.
well,
Oh wait,
yeah. So it's a two
maybe it was a
bathroom, right?
different one.
1.5,
No, it's actually a 3-3. Oh wait, 4.
4,
3.5.
3.5. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, where was that? Was this it? Oh yeah, well, I don't know where this part is, but yeah, I don't know which bathroom that is, but
Well, there are
I think
3.5 of them. So
yeah. And then I think this is still on the main floor. This is one of the bathrooms. And then a closet.
well, and that's not just a closet. That's a laundry room.
Walk-in closet, right?
Well, and laundry, right?
Oh, and laundry.
Right
Oh
there.
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's probably
Hey, Paul, is
for-
that up to code? Because if you put a laundry in there, that blocks access, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Nick. What was the question? I was answering one of our
Is
clients.
that up to code? Because if you put a washer dryer in there, you can't get access, right?
We're talking about the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can reach it and open it, okay. And they don't consider the washer and dryer are movable, so they wouldn't consider that
Okay.
something bad. So
That's a good
Okay.
call.
Cool. Just something, I don't know the answer to that, which is why Paul's so valuable here to have on the team.
Yeah, and then I think this is the attic area.
Yep.
They definitely
Yep.
added another bathroom here.
We've done a shower like that where it's kind of shaped kind of funky. Like you do what you got to do to find that extra bathroom when you need it.
Yeah. Then this is the basement. They actually finished it. So I think that's where they're getting like another bathroom and another bedroom.
Okay.
I guess they have a window here, so it counts. I think this is the garage though. This one's the garage. And it's a detached garage.
Wait.
Oh,
did you see it, Nick?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yes.
The chains. Wait, you guys all saw that, right?
wait, which one? Oh,
Go
here?
back to the deck. Yeah.
Oh, so someone doesn't
Um,
steal the AC unit?
I mean, Paul, is that going to stop somebody who's going to steal an AC unit?
I mean, probably not, but I mean, like,
Should you put a cage on top of it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's what we do.
We just got burned pretty bad with a stolen AC unit.
Oh no.
And so it's not only a cage, you also have to put a concrete pad underneath it so that you can attach the cage. Because if you can just like lift the cage, it doesn't actually do you any good.
Gotcha. So she put concrete
Just the
pad,
cost
chain
of
it down, and put a
it.
cage. Sorry, Mila, what?
Yes.
Or how much does it cost to put a concrete pad and a cage to protect it? Roughly?
You're probably looking between, depending on the unit, and how big it is, between $500 to $800.
Okay.
It's totally worth it, given that your AC costs
Okay.
about 3,500. It's not actually that big a deal if the place is tenanted. If it's tenanted, people don't tend to steal AC units because it takes a little bit of time. It's if your place is going to be vacant for a little bit, if it's sitting on the market, that tends to be where you get them stolen, unfortunately.
I know
Where
that
your
people were
house is,
stealing the copper wires off of the AC units at my sister's place.
oh, we'll circle back to that in a moment. But yeah, Mila, for instance, if your place, you knew in 46218 that place was going to be vacant for 2 months, I would be very concerned. Now, Paul, do you want to talk a little bit about Legrand? And speaking of stolen copper,
Yeah, so we, this is one of Nick's favorite properties, by the way.
I hate this house.
So we actually, we went in, we took care of some things that weren't right. After, Nick had a long while there trying to get some people out, got everything fixed. Marty goes in to show the place, and all the electrical wires have been cut. Like, they stripped the house for all the copper. And the unfortunate part about this was that Nick had paid for this to get done a year earlier. They also
So the house was vacant for a year?
no, the
Oh.
house, they had some people in it, and obviously, how tenants do sometimes, they had to be kicked out. And in that short period of time of having, us to go in there to try to fix a few more things, it literally they just robbed it. I mean, they cut all the wires.
Well,
Well,
is
and
it,
they destroyed my AC in the process.
Yes, as well.
is it in the cage?
No, that one didn't have a
It wasn't in
cage.
the cage. Now it's in the cage. It actually kind of looks pretty. Personally, I think it's a pretty cage for an AC to be in. I can see, I'll pull up a picture while you continue going.
Like a nice wooden cage.
It's like,
Oh no.
no,
No.
it's bougie. It's bougier than that. Hold on.
So you understand, so
Stainless
this
steel.
cage, but the bolts that are so the correct way to do this, the bolts that are holding this are roughly about 14 inches long. And about 13.5 inches are sticking inside in the concrete. So they don't get to pull that up. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if somebody wants to steal something, they're going to steal something. But it's going to take a lot of noise and a lot of time to cut through one of these cages.
How do they get the electrical wire? Do they need to break in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how do they do it? Do they go to the electrical panel?
I'm sorry, Flora, what was that?
Do they, how
Wait,
does?
don't teach her how to rob my houses. No, go for it.
So they, basically they just come in, they hit the main power, and they start clipping wires on top, right? So, and then after those wires are clipped, they just start pulling as much as they can, and they really don't care what they destroy. They
Wow.
just pull it.
Damn. That's scary. Oh,
So yeah, I mean, granted that house, I actually think that was the former tenants. If I had to guess, Paul,
oh.
Yeah,
that was an eviction situation, and it did not end well.
Oh, gotcha.
Let me
Find the bougie cage.
Yeah, are you okay to not share your screen for a second, and then I'll
Yeah,
share
yeah.
what this bougie cage looks
Yes,
like.
I learned how to stop sharing my screen.
There we go. That is a good looking
Oh,
cage.
Doesn't it? I
Mhm.
think it looks good. I mean,
Like
oh,
if
I
you
thought
have
it
to
was
have a
gonna be
cage,
full enclosure too, but that looks pretty good.
no, you can't have full enclosure because you need airflow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Is
Well,
there
I
a
was thinking
big?
more
I
like a
also,
jail, like a prison, like you know, like the like chain link all over.
and so that's not wood it's screwed into. That is a cement
Mm.
block, just so you guys are aware. There's wood around the outside.
Yeah,
I also just want to like take a moment. Like, how many real estate investment groups do you think have of the people that are joining the call from a student perspective? 3 of them are female. Like, I feel like this is such a male-dominated industry. I just think this is freaking badass
Yeah.
that we've got 3 women here today kicking ass in real estate. All right, Kimberly, you're back up.
Okay.
So which house was this in? Is that in a C-class neighborhood? That's why?
Oh yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Wouldn't you, Paul? C class?
yeah. The lower part is,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I guess I had a question about like, is this area of Indianapolis like how would the what would is this a good
Where are
area,
we
fancy
looking?
area? Like it
I
says
would
near
not call that a fancy area.
Tuxedo. Oh no.
I
yeah,
I would say based on what we're seeing in your house, you are going to have the nicest house on that block. Now, I think what might make sense, let's go do street view. Obviously, your house probably won't be updated in the street view, but my assumption, oh,
This is
actually,
a nice house right here. Or no, wait, this is
that's a
the house. Is
duplex.
this house?
That's a
Oh, that's a
duplex. No, your
oh,
house
that's
is right in front. That's it right there.
I can't
Um,
recognize it. Okay,
well,
that's a nice
somebody has
looking
gone through and flipped.
duplex.
Very nice duplex, maybe even a fourplex, kind of looking at the AC units. But it does
Looking
look like
across
there's
the
quite a bit
street.
of disrepair.
Uh-huh.
And what I'm looking at when I see disrepair is these roofs. And Paul,
Mm.
maybe you see something I don't see, but a lot of these roofs are well past their expected life.
oh, for sure.
Is like this house a nice like
That
house
looks
or
kind of cute. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
So
I happen to drive through these streets a lot through the
uh-huh.
week. And, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's not the best. Maybe a little bit under a middle, you know, a C, a C
Oh,
plus,
it's
maybe, Nick.
yeah, I mean that's how I would have described it.
how do you compare to the one that got electrical stolen?
This is nicer,
This one's nicer.
but not a lot nicer.
Great to hear.
Nicer than Nick's crappy house.
okay. Okay, well I think that's good to know. So I tried to do some comps, but like I think it was a little difficult because like the living square footage on this is quite high,
It's a
just because
big
they
house.
utilized all the vertical space, like they finished the basement too.
Yeah.
And so I think that is what makes it bigger. Comparatively, like I couldn't like this was the closest I could find. But I think one of the things I wasn't sure about is for some of the houses, the main floor is like bigger than the main floor on this house I'm looking at, because I think the square footage is really split between those 3 levels. Like I don't know if people prefer to have most of their square footage just on like a 1 floor. This house doesn't count. It's like too nice to be a rental.
Yeah, so let me just take a moment and talk a little bit about that. You do not get the same credit for the basement space, even if it's very nicely finished, as you do for the main floor. So it's just right off the bat, you tend to get a little bit of a discount.
Mm.
If you have any question on that, go back and watch the episode of Nick's Picks we did with Allison. It was a while ago. I think it was like 6 months ago.
Well,
But
I
it's
think I
worth going
watched
back.
that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she talks a little bit about that. And I believe she said she gives about 50% of the value, 50 to 75% of the value. So keep that in mind as you're kind of looking at it from a per square footage perspective.
Oh.
Heck, even in my house here, brand new construction, I've got 9-10 foot ceilings here in my basement. I still don't get the same level of credit as you would in on a main level. The other thing to consider is when you go upstairs, not all of that square footage is actually livable space. This is one of like the hills that Paul is going to die on, I think, is that a lot of that space shouldn't actually count as square footage. And the reason for that is you can't stand up in it. And so I think the rule, Paul, let me know if I'm wrong, but it's 6 foot is the minimum height for it to count.
5 feet.
5 feet. Okay. So even a little bit more generous, but a lot of that, like, you know how you have the kind of weird roof line on some of that? A lot of that space underneath it won't count, but it probably is counting on there. So
see.
so if you're looking at a house that has 2,200 square feet, all of it on like normal square footage and not in a basement, you're going to get a little less credit than that same house for that same square
Okay.
footage.
Gotcha.
Laura, you had a question there?
Yeah, Nick, for the basement, I also feel like there's some ambiguity after watching Allison's video. So for the basement, if it's a empty basement, no bedroom, no bathroom, and then you say 50% of the value, do you mean square footage?
That's correct. Yeah. So essentially, what an appraiser is going to do, for the most part, and again, each appraiser does it a little differently, but I've talked to several of them, including Allison's father, who is an appraiser down in Bloomington. I talked to him yesterday. And generally speaking, what they look at is, all right, we're going to look at the class of property first. We're going to go look for the as similar a bedroom bathroom count as we can get. So 3 bedroom, 2 bath. We're going to go like eliminate all the other ones as best we can that are outside of that. At that point, then they start looking at square footage and finishes of the home in order to zone in on exactly what that valuation is going to be. But they use the bed bath count to essentially figure out the class of property, and then from there adjust based on those other factors.
So can we go walk through an example? So we have a house with a main house, like square footage of 1,000 square feet, basement like 500. And then we have the top, maybe it's 1,500, no basement. How do we get to our value?
Yeah. So essentially the way they would kind of look at it, assuming same bedroom bathroom count, in a lot of cases, what they'll do in that situation, and again, art, not a science. So like you can't apply rules like and just 100% get this as the outcome. What they would look at then is, all right, based on that 1,500 square foot house, it's a 3-2, let's say, for the sake of conversation, versus the other 1,500 square feet with 500 in the basement. They'll then go look at the dollar per square foot of the 15 on a single level or potentially second level above. And they will figure out that dollar per square foot. They will then look at the 1,000 with the 500 down below, and then they will discount that 500 down below by 50% on a dollar per square foot basis.
Yeah, let's say it's 100 per square foot, then it's 1,000 square feet times 100 and 500 times 50. So it's basically.
So it would be on the one level house, it would be about $150,000. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the other one, and I'm not that smart, so I'm doing this literally in a calculator here as we go. We're doing 50 times, so it would be 100 times 1,000 plus 50 times 500. So it'd be $125,000.
Gotcha. Well, what is the difference if the basement has 1 bedroom or 1 bathroom? Doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter, but what it does do is it does change the class of property that you're working in. So if, for instance, you had that 1,000 square foot house with an unfinished basement, if you were to go finish that basement and add that extra bedroom and bathroom down there in the basement in that 500 square feet, it changes it from a 2-1 into a 3-2. It changes the class of property and changes that dollar per square foot very substantially.
But then that basement square footage is still 50% of the value.
Yes.
Thanks.
And you should go, and I'm this is secondhand and going off memory of what she said. It's worth going back and listening to her conversation. I believe it was 50 to 75% of the value, but it is definitely discounted significantly. What was that?
Your knowledge is the best that we got.
Well, no, well, if that's the case, then that's scary. But yeah, I mean, that is why we do the Nick picks, is so that, you know, we can get people that can come in there and bring that expertise. What I'll say is that not all appraisers have that same opinion. That is kind of the prevailing. I think we had Logan on a little over a year ago, and he had a slightly different opinion on it. I don't remember exactly what it was. But what
Yeah.
I've seen most consistently is what Allison was talking about.
Yes, since we're all going to IUCU, so we're gonna come across Allison herself.
Allison, Mimi, we've had a couple. It's not only Allison.
Okay.
They do have a bank of like 4 or 5. We've been lucky. Allison's great. She's super, super nice. And
Right.
she's
Great.
if
Yeah.
my recommendation, if you do end up dealing with an appraiser where you've done significant work on a property, is provide them the comps that you are looking at. And
better
use
try.
that as your, well, I'm sorry.
A better trick. If
Oh,
they-
you have a better trick?
Yeah, if they have the low, because if they come back low, just ask Paul to yell at them, because Paul know all of them.
Yeah. Well, I like to proactively not get a low appraisal. And so, for instance, 'cause it's a lot harder if you've already got the low appraisal. So what, like I did, Allison's dad is going to be appraising a property for me in Bloomington. I sent him over the SOW. He's doing a pre and post appraisal. And so I've sent him over the scope of work. I've sent him over photos of projects we've done in the past. I've like really talked up to like how much Allison likes all our projects. And then I sent him over the comps that I want him to compare us against. So I'm prepping it as much as I can. And I even told him like, hey, anything above 205, I would consider a win. I think, you know, based on our comps, I think we can do 219, but anything above 205, I think is a win.
That's great
Oh, yeah.
brainwashing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
maybe we can see if my my estimated value is correct based on these comps.
Yeah, let's do it. So,
Okay, so I put 250. So I do want to say that they want to sell this for 285. They
Oh.
went down 10K. But like the reason being is that I
how long has it
couldn't.
been on the market? How long has it
I've
been on the market?
quite a few days. Where does it say how long it's been on? I think.
Right there. You passed it. Go up.
Okay. Yeah. 30
Right there,
days.
30 days.
So it's been
So
on a
here's
while.
what I'll tell you. I think
Mhm.
they over improved this house.
Hmm.
Paul, I mean, you saw the inside there. They spent some money on that house.
Yeah, yeah, they sure did. I mean, if I had to, was that the picture of it, like on a street view when we first?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah,
blew-
the one where Nick said that's the nicest house on the block.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, looking at the inside, they blew close to 100K in this house.
Hmm.
Well,
I
if
mean,
you,
the outside alone.
Can you go back to the street view?
And they bought it for 70K a year ago. So it took them a year to fix it.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
mean,
in this thing a lot.
a lot.
And they
It's
seem
all new
because
siding,
I'm
all
sure
new roof.
people put offers, but they're unwilling to like accept the offers that people are giving, I guess.
Well, so to give some context, let's say they only spent $100,000. I actually think they probably spent more than that. Because Paul, I'm just comparing this to Alabama. Now they're probably not using as nice siding and all that stuff as we used, but I mean that's going to be $100,000 project when it's all said and done, $105,000. So if they bought it for 72 and they spent, let's just use 100, so they're at 172 all in. If they sell it for even, no, it's 250 times 0.93, because they have to incur the closing costs minus the 172, they're at 60. They've got holding costs on there that are pretty substantial. I'm assuming they're probably using hard money. So for a year, that's probably another 12%. And so let's say 12%. So I mean their profit there is only 40, and that's assuming it's only $100,000 rehab. I think it's probably more than that.
Gotcha. So they're
there,
basing
David. How
their
you doing,
sell
bud?
price on how much they put in, right?
Yeah,
Not
I
on
mean,
not on
yeah,
how
and
much it would be.
I think that they've got like too much house there.
It was the wrong thing it was the wrong side. It was the wrong area to do that to a house.
Yeah, I think for comparison, like, oh, how do I bring this one up? This was like one of the comparison ones that I had. I think it's pretty close by, like near the same neighborhood. But I think one of the things is that it definitely has more square footage on the main floor. I think it looks like just as nice. But it also is sold for a lot for less. But I also think that's because like it's it's not like it's like 4-bed, 2-bath. I know it says this square footage here, but the actual livable square
Yeah.
footage is like it is this actually, because so yeah, but this one was 224, which is like obviously a lot lower. I don't know why this clicking on the street view is not working. I think maybe the houses nearby also look a little nicer.
I think this house is also a lot. Your house is going to be a lot bigger than most houses.
Mhm.
Comping this one's going to be really hard because I think you're right. I think they really overdid it.
Yeah, so that was 224. I'm not going to show this one because it's too
Yeah.
nice. This one is a 2.5. And this one is actually smaller than the one I was just showing. So that would be this one. I don't know that they actually like fixed it up that much. The outside seems like new, but
That
I
seems
don't know,
nice.
the flooring doesn't seem new though, but that's okay. Yeah, so the bathroom looks nice. I don't think they painted this room, or I don't know, I guess the trim doesn't match the rest of the house. um but yeah, so this one,
Where's this one located versus your?
oh yeah,
Because
so this one is on the other side of this rural street, North Rural
I
Street.
think that you're getting into no, maybe not, because going towards Little Flower is better, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that like the other two houses were in this area, and then this one is across this street. I don't know if I crossed a big street, if that's like big difference.
It can be, but I don't think it is for this, but
Okay.
correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, and this one sold for 255. And then there is another one that was much smaller that sold for 260, but let me just show where it's located. Maybe that, is
That's
like
about half a mile away, right? 'Cause you're at
yeah,
960.
and it's
So
down
it's like 3 or 4
towards here.
blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
getting
like
closer to, yeah.
this location.
I'm just not all that familiar with that particular area.
Yeah. So this house is smaller. Looks nice.
Yeah, I like
Um,
the woodwork they've done there.
yeah, so like I feel like they're all like similar level of quality, like they all
Yeah.
look pretty nice. Yeah, so like I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't, this one was like only 1.5 bath, and then this one was 279. And it was like pretty close, but I think that yeah, they have more on the first floor. So
Yeah,
I
that looks
like,
bigger.
and it has 5 and 3.5. So then I was like, yeah, let's not count this. It just like feels a lot bigger because everything is like on the main floor instead of on the bottom. Like their kitchen is much bigger. So
Hey, Paul,
so
can
I
wait, go
wasn't,
back to that photo of that
oh,
kitchen. I hate that kitchen. There's one thing they did there that Paul just like I'm wondering if it bothers you too.
This one?
Yeah, right there. That was it. Go back one. That right there. Why
Oh,
doesn't that just look goofy?
they didn't do it to the edges. Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Well, they didn't do it to the edges. The backsplash only goes up to like cabinet height, but there's no cabinet.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't notice.
it's
That's a Josh Jenkins job.
yeah, it's cool. I would have rather seen an island if I could have done that in there versus that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a small.
All right. So Kim, I actually really like your number of like 250 or so. I like that feels about right. I would potentially ask your agent to pull comps on your behalf, but directionally, I feel like we're not far off. Mila asked an interesting question about how long you plan to
Oh.
hold it. Because it was
Thinking
built
of
in
the exit.
1890.
Because I'm thinking of the exit strategy when I purchase a house. And if it was built in 1890 and I plan to hold it for 30 years, let's assume, okay, I know we'll get rid of our houses in maybe 10 years or even earlier, right? But still, I'm thinking when I plan to sell it, in 10 years, that age of that building would be a problem or not. No.
It's not uncommon here in Indianapolis. Additionally, it looks like they did a lot of work. It's funny that you bring this up, Mila. This is a conversation Paul has been having with Bo in particular. So we've got a house, 1410 South Alabama. If you guys want to look at it, you can. It was a goddamn disaster. It was terrible. And literally the only thing, Paul, what have we kept in this house? What hasn't been replaced?
The rafters.
So yeah, basically like what holds up the
Pillars.
roof hasn't been replaced. And so he's debating like, can we count this as a new house? Because like
Hmm.
literally everything is new. Like we've even gotten a new
Mhm.
foundation in there.
Yeah, what would you
So
need to like
this-
do to get it
you would need to tear it
reconsidered?
all the way down. You would need to tear it all
Oh.
the way down to the ground
Oh.
and do all new plans, all new like ground up. Oh, hey David. Well, we're going to talk about that one in a moment because you're going to be my comp. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, so you would literally have to tear it all the way down, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So let's now, and David, we're going to circle back because I definitely want to talk about what you're doing over there on Alabama. But
This is the rent I found.
I highly doubt that rent.
Oh, really? Because I
That
tried
feels
to like.
really high. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's go really quickly. Can we go on like Zillow or Redfin and look at what's on market for rent right now?
Yes.
That's
Okay,
just
here.
given that neighborhood. I would be surprised if people are willing to pay that much to live in that neighborhood.
Oh, did I do the right thing?
So I like to go to the map view.
Oh, okay. How do I go to a map view for rent?
So I'm gonna be honest. I use Zillow for when
Oh,
I'm
okay.
doing this. So I'm gonna.
Oh.
Brett would probably make fun of me.
I was gonna say I could help you get it, but you got it. If you're gonna go Zulu.
Okay, so and then I enter the address.
And then I hit the little X up at the top right,
Okay.
and then I switch it to for rent instead of sold.
Okay.
Yep, you nailed it. And then yeah, I would change that to a 3-bedroom plus. I would do 3 plus and 2 plus,
Okay.
just because you're gonna struggle to find comps.
Okay.
All right, now I would search for your address one more time in the search box up at the top left.
Okay.
No, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Do I remove this?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
in- Okay.
yep.
Oh.
And then it'll zoom in real tight.
Okay.
1410, Laura.
Oh,
1410 South Alabama.
did I do this
All right.
wrong? Did I do this?
No, you're
right?
doing it perfectly. You're
Oh,
doing it
okay,
perfectly.
okay.
All right. So now we are like in so we see that 1.6 thousand. Let's click on that real quick. How does that look? So it's about the same size, give or take.
Mhm.
Kind of weird, not as nice a house. All right,
Yeah.
so you can probably beat 1600.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Mila, the reason I use Zillow is because I like the user interface. It's not that it's more accurate. I'm literally just looking at live listings to see what's for rent. I use it
Do I
only
have
for
to
rent
zoom
data.
out?
Yes,
That's
zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
I just like to like really get up close. All right, so with this in mind, what we're seeing is we see a couple others. Rural Street tends to be a little bit nicer. Let me know
Oh,
if I'm
so maybe
wrong on
this
that one,
one?
Paul.
I, it depends on what side, like if you're closer to Brookside, it is a little bit nicer than East Michigan.
Okay. So yeah, we tend to
Uh,
start on Rentometer and then we go and look at like live listings to see if we feel good about that assessment.
Oh, I see. So I guess I feel like some of the ones here though, with the square footage is like pretty small.
Yeah. So yours is bigger, but there comes a point, I'm keeping it in, okay, cool. We were thinking about doing the same thing, David. Yes, it's significantly smaller, but there like eventually comes a point where it's like nobody's going to rent above this point because they might as well just
see.
own the house.
I see. So like this one looks pretty like
Pretty crappy.
comparable. Oh, I was gonna
I was
say
gonna
the
say,
room.
oh, I disagree. I think it's pretty
Oh,
ugly.
okay. Oh, okay.
I
So
think
you
yours is
think
way
that,
nicer than that.
okay, so well, I think we thought we could already get above 1600. So then maybe I'll look at this one.
I think
This one looks
yours is a little
worse.
nicer than that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So we're above 1700.
This one looks
Ooh,
nice.
this one looks like is this one a new build?
It's a new build.
And
This
see
has
what year it was
been
built.
listed for 28 days. Where do I find it in
Usually
on
at the
Zillow?
top it has.
Okay.
Oh, not for rent though.
Oh, I see. Um,
But this house is super, super nice. Like they've done a good job with it. Everything's new in this house. So
Yeah.
I would say you're probably talking about comparable to this one.
so like, would it be safe to say 1900? This one is
I would say
is
so.
a 2.2K one. And it's obviously much nicer. They got this like friggin' wine rack over here.
Yeah, does the house come with the wine rack?
I think so. It looks
Yeah,
built
I know. I
in.
was just teasing. I
Oh,
meant like, do I get the wine with it?
oh, the wine. Yeah. You definitely get the rack. I don't know about the wine. Okay, yeah. So maybe mine is not as nice as that. So if I had to update this, then maybe if I
I
did
would say
19.
19. I'd feel good about saying 1900 and
Mm-hmm.
potentially up to as high as 2000. But like
Okay.
that's kind of your range that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Wasn't that 1900 though on the market for a while already?
Yeah, it was. I think it said 28 days. Or
the
maybe it was
quality
the
of
other
property
one.
managers matters.
That's true as well.
It says 28 days listed.
It's not very many contacts too. Only 17 people have reached out to them.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you're coming
So
in a little cheaper than that.
yeah, so I was thinking of offering 240, because I think it's
They're
worth this
probably going to
much.
give you the middle finger. But that's okay. Like this is a good exercise for us to do. All right. So with that in mind, your cash flow is negative about $100 a month. Ballpark. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
Well, it's
Did you
only for
actually
the
check that?
first couple years, right?
Yeah, and the yield isn't terrible on it. Getting like a 14% return year two is not a terrible place to
Yeah.
be.
I was also, since it's buy
If
and
you,
hold, I was looking at the rent to value ratio.
The
yeah,
purchase price, you put not the list price, but 240. So are you sure that you're going to negotiate 45K down?
Yeah, I don't know.
well, that's what
I
she's
think
going to
there's
offer.
nothing wrong with putting an offer in, and if they refuse, then they refuse. Actually funny, I think the last house we put an offer in, where they was like they were trying to go for 230, and then we put 215, and then they still accepted it. So, but I know 45K is a lot more than 15K,
So
but
what you're
I don't
looking
know.
for in this particular situation is what you're you hope is that they are on hard money right now.
And they'll accept anything.
And so they're desperate to get out of this thing. Like
I
Paul
mean, they
said,
did lower the price yesterday.
I'm betting that they're into this thing for closer to 150, unless they're doing a lot of deals. Like we're doing Alabama, 1410 Alabama, and everything is brand new in that house. Everything. Like Paul said, everything is new in that house. And like Paul negotiated like a madman and called in every favor he's owed. And that one was 105 for us. So like for anybody else, it would probably be, Paul, what would you say if you hadn't been kind of a conniving and cunning individual? How much should that have cost?
150, 160.
But you think that there's nothing wrong with trying to make the offer? Like this isn't something you'd
No.
be like, stay away from?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. It doesn't make sense much higher than what you're talking about, though, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay. I like that you did the analysis on it. It doesn't make sense anywhere near they're asking, but if you can get it near that 0.8% rent to value ratio, you can probably make something get close to cash flow neutral, which is kind of what you're targeting in a situation where it's a buy and hold in a decent, like a nice house. It's been well done. David, dude, I would love to hear what you're doing over there at Alabama. How much rehab do you have on that thing? You're muted if you're trying to talk. All right, we lost David.
It's not gonna be a
But,
good comfort. It's a duplex he's doing.
Oh, darn it. We actually have given some thought to potentially short-term renting our thing. Giving some context on that one. We're gonna be in it for one. We bought it for one. Oh, hey David, how you doing?
Sorry, I'm back. I'm good. I'm trying to do too many things at once. But
Nice.
What did you say? I heard my name. But,
So what are you doing with your Alabama property?
we're just gonna, it was basically a knockdown. We took everything out, took the roof off even, like not just the roof, but all the walls too. So kept the footprint basically, building 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a rooftop deck. It'll have a view of downtown and just try to make it more of like a luxury short-term rental to get the convention traffic and midterm stays. We've been lucky with getting decent numbers for those. So I don't love the short term, but like this week is different because you got Gen Con and Drum Corps next weekend, and everybody's excited about Taylor Swift November 2024. But you got the NBA All-Star game and all the events are coming for short term, but midterm's really where I
This
focus.
is an event city.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah. We consider doing that on our Alabama property. Ours is a single family. It sounds like yours is a duplex.
It's single family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lot's only 52 by 30 and the house is 28 by 28. Like it's so it's
Small house.
3-bedroom. Yeah, we managed to get 3 bedrooms and every bedroom has an attached bathroom. And on the rooftop we'll have a deck. So it'll be a cool property. The property behind it sold for like $499, I think. So I'm not saying it's exactly comparable to that, but it's gonna be close because I mean we won't have a garage. We really don't have a yard, but we're
well, we're gonna help you out here because we are gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2.5, right, Paul? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
We're gonna be a 3, 2.5. We'll be a little bit bigger, no garage, and we should be hitting the market here in about 3 weeks. So wait for your refi until that thing sells. It should help you out.
all right. What are you gonna list it for?
Isn't that the debate? Somewhere between 329 and 379. We haven't decided yet.
Okay. It won't help
Lots
me
of range.
too much, honestly. So I'm putting
Even on
like
the
much
refi?
money in. Well, yeah, I'm putting like 300 into this place, so it's
Nice.
just for the construction costs. So it's not going to
Who
be
are you
a
working with on the construction side?
Construmax, Don Segura, and Miguel Villasol. They don't work with too many people, but
Yeah.
they work with RCA Properties, which is Rex Fisher. They just work with like 2 or 3 investors, basically.
Nice.
They do
Nice.
a handful a year, so they do like 4 at a time, and then take a break, and then do 4 at a time.
You know, I kind of respect that. There are days where that sounds a whole lot better.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they did the house that I live in. We're very happy with it. So they
Nice.
they are fair and they communicate well. and They're not fast, but you have to give up somewhere. So
Yeah. Well, they always say with contractors, you get 2 out of 3. You get the price, the quality, or the speed. You can choose your 2.
Exactly.
And with some contractors, you don't even get that many.
Most contractors, no, I do not like working with contractors, but it's just part of the.
Yeah, me neither.
Just got to do it. Part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Are there any other questions? Any other like deals we want to go over here real quick before we head off to the weekend? Kim, I think you've got your offer price. Flora?
A question for the flip and for the Alabama, like, since it's, I guess, like from my understanding, the flip is above 300K is a little harder to sell. Is that the case?
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah, there are
see.
fewer buyers who are potentially interested. It's not somebody who's an entry level buyer. This is going to be a step up buyer, somebody who wants a little bit nicer of a house. So yeah, it probably will be a little tougher to sell. There's a reason why Paul is going to the mat on this one. He's doing super high end finishes because literally, Paul, what did you say like about selling this house?
As soon as they put it in park.
Yeah.
I want
He wants it. Yeah, he wants them to pull up and immediately buy the house based on seeing it before they even get out of their car.
I mean, does it make a difference if it's in a neighborhood like Beit Hendricks? Maybe they're more like richer buyers there.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. No, like if I was trying to sell this same house in like the Emerson Heights near East Side area that Kim was talking about with her recent deal that we were just looking at, it wouldn't go. Like there's 0% chance. This has a chance because it's actually not going to be one of the most expensive houses in that area. There are a lot of new builds in that area that have been done recently in the high 400s, low 500s. That we're going to be like a very premium but affordable option, given that we're not a brand new construction.
Hmm. That's good to know. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Getting above 300 scares me a little bit with pricing, and Paul knows my anxiety level on this house.
Yeah.
It's a little higher than most.
Relate.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else here before we head off to the weekend? All right. Well, then
Have
I'm
a
gonna
great
go.
weekend, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good one, Mila. So nice to have you back. I definitely want to see photos. Please put them in the Slack channel or something. Definitely
Here
want to
you
see.
did.
Yeah.
You haven't
did she?
seen? She took off-leash
I-
investments to France with her. Did
Oh,
you not
okay.
see
I'm
this?
checking that out.
Yeah,
No,
you gotta see it.
I'm
Super
behind.
cute.
I've been in calls. I've been emceeing calls all afternoon.
Align did not need you.
I'm not a
Align
professional
did not.
photographer as Ed. I'm not as good as Ed, but I try to do my best making pictures.
It's
Yeah.
adorable, Mila. We're so excited. I sent him.
Oh
a
my
link
gosh,
to our
that is
intern.
so cute.
Isn't that
Wait,
so
is that
cute?
Wait, what fountain is that?
So it's in Bordeaux, the city called Bordeaux, where my sister lives. And so
This
all
is
the pictures
freaking
were
amazing.
in Bordeaux.
Can you send me the city can you just spell that out for me? Like, can you just type it to me
Yeah,
so that I can tell?
That is
How cute
so
is that?
incredibly cute.
We need a flat Stanley, and this is like our flat Stanley.
I don't
Do you
know
get
what
that reference? Oh
you
my
just
God,
said. Two
stop.
words.
Flat Stanley. You guys have never done a flat Stanley project at school where you had to like, or your kid, I guess you only have one kid right now that's not in school, but
You'll
previous
know,
educator here. Flat Stanley, it's like a drawing of yourself, and then you send it to your relatives and they take it on adventures during the summer. And then you usually like, and during the school year, you like write adventures, you write about your person's adventures that your family members sent it on.
you got it. This is what I decided to do, and it was funny because in that square that's called miroir, meaning mirror place, that everything looks like a mirror. I was taking pictures of this bag, and then behind me there was a lady who approached me and asked me like, "Oh, you're from United States, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." How did you figure out? I was like, "Because it's only us who doing this crazy thing. You see, I brought a turtle. This is Hawaiian turtle. And then I'm taking my turtle with me and I'm doing these pictures, in all these places." And she was from Colorado. It was a, very funny conversation with her. But not a lot of Americans in Bordeaux, but she somehow figured out.
I love that.
That is the cutest thing in the entire world. Like
Wait for it.
I love this so much.
Bailey's gonna have to do it at school, and you're gonna have to take a little piece of paper around with you as you adventure.
Sure. I can do it.
like,
I don't
when-
go anywhere. Actually, well, I'll make Paul do it. I'll make Paul go to construction sites with flat Stanley.
That's what I'm saying. We'll just go to the hood.
So that's what I'm now thinking. I'm thinking we need to get a stuffed dog that goes with Paul. Yes, Paul, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna think you're too fluffy. Everybody's gonna love it.
yeah, this stuffed puppy is on Amazon. I don't remember the price. It was about like $25 or something. I was like, okay, I'll buy it. That looks like a doggy on that brand, on that bag.
I love it. I'm
That
excited.
is freaking cute. All right, guys,
nice.
I'm going to the weekend. I'm gonna go hang out with Bailey now. But hope everyone has a good one, and I will talk to you all real soon. Okay,
Bye, y'all.
bye, guys.